Hello everyone, in today's session let us discuss a communication model proposed by Aristotle. Aristotle, known as a great intellect who flourished from 384 to 322 BCE. His remarkable contributions to the multiple fields spanning from natural sciences, psychology, economics, political science and many more. He is ever remembered for his remarkable contributions to the field of communication, persuasion and public speaking. Aristotle proposed the earliest mass communication model called Aristotle model of communication. It is also known as speaker audience message model. One thing we have to remember here is that this model is more focused on public speaking rather than interpersonal communication. So this is the graphical representation of Aristotle model of communication, which includes speaker who is going to deliver his message, and there is a speech which he has to tailor according to the occasion, and then audience which he has to understand and then desired effect. So on the face of it, this model looks very plain and linear, but if we understand the interconnected components with this model, you will be surprised to know that how intellectual Aristotle was. Now let us see three interconnected components proposed by Aristotle, which is known as rhetoric triangle. So rhetoric triangle includes logos, ethos and pathos. Logos represents logics, facts or reasoning. Ethos represents trust, credibility or authority. Pathos represents emotions, belief or emotional connection with the audience. So all together, a harmonious integration of these three components will lead us to become effective communicators. Now let us see each components one by one. At first, I will take logos. Logos, as I told you earlier, represents logic. So Aristotle suggested that be logical. Whenever you are asked to deliver any public speech, include logics, facts and very reasonable ideas related to the concept. The audience will not only be influenced by the speech, but also the logic behind it. The speaker has to present the statistics and facts so that the audience can believe him and ultimately relate with him. So, what are the suggestions to all these characteristics? So, it is suggested that as much as possible avoid conflicting ideas in your speech. Avoid complex ideas. So, if you use very complex ideas and complex ideas, it will confuse your audience. So, if you confuse the audience, there will be no logic in your speech and you won't be considered as very logical person. And persuasion will work only when it is backed by the rational thoughts and factual information, and a good combination of rational thoughts and the factual information is always awesome. So, to look at the examples. So, if a politician asks to deliver a political speech, so then suggestion is that he should use logics, real life examples, his past developmental initiatives. So, then voters will believe him and there will be a good reason for his candidature. So, if he rely on only the emotional stories including personal narratives, so then he won't be considered as very logical person. And for another example is that if you are asked to conduct a business presentation, then what are the suggestions? So, please check your presentation if it includes logical facts, real life examples, statistics and then very applicable ideas. The persons who are sitting in front of you always look at how logical you are, how factual you are. So, they do not rely on your public communication skills or command over language. Here what works is your logical ideas. So, now going to next characteristics, that is ethos. Ethos represent credibility. This is speaker centric characteristics. Any speaker, if you want to look credibility, he should hold the power of credible ideas or credible characteristics. So, you must look trustworthy for them. So, if they have doubts on you, if they do not think that you are a reliable person, then your public speaking won't work for them. So, then what are the ideas to adopt these qualities in your public speaking skill. So one of the suggestion is that communicate continuously and consistently. That will make you very credible person. So understand your audience, understand them and tune to them. So understand their language and try to speak their own language. So there are other physical characteristics also. You can own good eye contact, a confidence in your eyes, firm postures, etc. adds credibility to your personality. So your personality will be judged by your audience. So as much as possible, present yourself as a trustworthy person, reliable person and very credible person. Now going to another quality or components, that is pathos. Pathos means emotional connection with the audience. That is the emotional bond you should own. So as much as possible you understand your audience, their needs, their beliefs, their value system, etc. So that will help the speaker to connect with the audience through various emotions. You can play with emotions like anger, sadness, happiness, confidence, etc. So in simple sense, make them experience what you speak. If they experience what you speak, they will trust you, they will hear you and then they will understand you. So make them feel what you want them to feel. So now to look at a few examples, profit organization or non-profit organization, politicians, most of them they capitalize on pathos to address and connect with the emotions of the target audience. So hence pathos is one of the important characteristics any public speaker should own. It is the emotional connection with the audience. Now on the backdrop of three components of Aristotle's rhetoric triangle, let us understand his process of communication proposed by Aristotle. So it includes 5 basic elements. There is speaker, there is speech, there is audience, effect and the occasion. So to understand these 5 elements according to 3 rhetorical triangle, speaker, he must be credible. He should show himself as credible person in front of the audience. And then your speech must be logical and emotional. You should understand the occasion and relate your speech with the occasion. So it is normally understood that if you prepare a speech, you will deliver that speech to different kind of audience. It is not so. So you have to relate to the occasion and relate to their demographic profile. You have to understand their beliefs, values and other characteristics, emotional and mental characteristics. And then there are audiences. So as much as possible you have to emotionally connect with them. And if you own first 4 components or elements, then effect will come it on own way. So hence to conclude, do your best. So keep practicing again and again and then reflect what you learned. So finally, be credible, be logical and be emotionally connected. So with this, I will conclude today's session. Let us meet again with another topic. Thank you for watching.